cool. Feel free to unmute yourselves and just maybe drop a quick hello. I've been chatting and nice to see everybody where everyone's coming in from. We've got a couple of people from England, so hello. And we have someone from Mumbai, that is Monarch's hometown, so awesome. And some fellow Torontonians. Welcome to another Friday, Friday afternoon, right before a long weekend. Well, long weekend here in Canada. It's Family Day on Monday, and it's Valentine's on Sunday. So everyone that is celebrating on Sunday, tell me what some of your plans are, or if you're single, what are you planning on doing? Maybe ordering some chocolate or making a feast for yourself. Any plans, anyone?
Going on a date.
Sweet, sweet. Going on a date. Awesome. Wow. In the pandemic, is it a date at home?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, awesome. Pizza and a movie. Cool. Awesome. I like it. That sounds like the most epic plan. I love it. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. I'm going to jump right into orientation. Feel free to drop questions in the chat. I'll be monitoring that as well. Those of you that are not familiar with me, my name is Navi. I am one of the co-founders here at Mintbean, as well as the director of partnership. I handle all sorts of other community partnerships and sponsorship partnerships as well. From time to time, I also run workshops. I actually just finished a career hack workshop for cover letters just yesterday. Not sure if any of you guys got to see that, but that was a lot of fun. That should live on our YouTube channel by the end of the day. So you can definitely go see that. I wanted to give a quick shout out to our developer collective pod program. We launched this in January. This is a new initiative by Mintbean. It's a special program where developers collaborate in pods with other developers from our community. You get to receive constant mentorship from a pod leader, typically an industry expert, while building your own coding style and personal brand. There is an application process to the pod system. Currently, it is on a wait list. This is a free program in alpha currently. We hope to bring mentorship more economically feasible for everyone. And we're really, really excited about this program. So it's doing really well. There's 12 people already in it, and it's being led by Monarch, who's the other founder. And we're talking with lots of other mentors who we're bringing in from companies like Lyft. And I won't get into it too much, but feel free to drop me a message about how this works later. And Yaz, do you mind dropping the application for the collective in the chat as well, just so that everybody has it? All right, let's get into how Mintbean helps. So we understand that breaking into this industry is tough. That's why we started this community, so that developers don't feel alone and that we have a framework to follow, with our weekly hacks. They work on 3 principles. So building your portfolio is the first step to impress employers. The second is showcasing your projects. Building isn't enough. You have to talk about your work. And what better way to leverage social media than to talk about your work on places like LinkedIn, where recruiters live. And of course, there's repeat. So keep building and pushing out your code and keeping that GitHub streak green. How long does it take? So we do give you ample time to build. It typically, so we start like on Friday for orientation, and submissions are due on Thursday at 12 noon. This is Eastern Standard Time. And these are some goalposts for how you should structure that week. So you should definitely start planning today and finish planning by tomorrow and start building tomorrow, and then continue building on Sunday. Of course, take breaks. And then usually on Mondays and Wednesdays, we bring in industry insiders and we do workshops. We have open office hours starting today at 4. And then the second office hour is Monday at 5 and Wednesday at 5. I do want to mention that, guys, deploy early, deploy often. and that ensures that your project is up and running by Thursday noon. And also ensure that you're running some preliminary QA checks from the very beginning. All right, so step one, start with a plan. I'm going to go over these 5 steps. So start with an idea. So take your grand idea and create a light version. um, what is the prompt theme? What problem do I want to solve? Can I accomplish this in a given time? Can I build part of the can I build this in the given time? So your MVP. And what is an MVP? Bare bones of your idea, nothing fancy, basic features your app needs to have. Think of building a house. This is your foundation. So no walls, no doors, no windows. It's the first thing you do before you do anything else. And of course, a weak foundation makes for a poor house. So your MVP is like the core functionality of your application. And then 3, wireframe. So this kind of goes into, you don't need a fancy tool, guys. Like you don't need to make it look pretty. You're not UX designers. Some of you may be. Even doing it on a piece of paper is completely fine, but have a general idea of where things go. And then, of course, iterate. So when you start with your foundation, you can't build a house. You can't build a roof first. Slowly add to it. Make sure that everything is done well. Bugs can cause the whole thing to collapse. So having more features is less important than having good, well-made ones. Something half done is better done. Sorry, something half-assed is. I'm gonna butcher this statement, so I'm just gonna not even do it. Um, something half done is better than something done half-ass. I think I got that one. Uh, so review. Before moving on to the building, the next part of your app, take a second and take a look at what you've got. Are there any bugs? Do they need to be fixed? Is there anything that you can do better? Is it easy to use? And one thing that I want to mention on the review stage is um, not every bug needs to be fixed right now. So, due to the time constraint, create a reminder and come back to it later. So, focus on maybe fixing only things that have a regular impact on users. I do want to do a quick highlight on creating a landing page and why it's important. By the way, guys, all this information is available on the guide. I'm just going over some of the more key points. So the purpose of the landing page is to clearly explain your product application to a non-technical person. So think of when someone lands on your application for the first time, what do they see, right? A great landing page will help guide any user who visits your application how to use and interact with your application. It's a really, really great marketing tool, and it kind of not only does it increase your chance to win the hackathon, but it also increases your visibility in the job market when you share it in socials. And then when employers land on your application, it's an introduction of how to navigate on your application. I'm going to go through the submission. So submission is done in 3 parts. So the first part is on the platform itself. You do have to be registered in order to submit on the platform. The second part, and this is where you'll kind of find the submissions. This is where they'll live. The second part of submission is on LinkedIn, and this is the most crucial part, to be honest with you guys. And especially if you're in the job market and you're trying to connect with employers. This is a really great template of how Andrew posted his win. And I don't know if he actually won this particular hack. So it's not about winning again. It's really about increasing that employer visibility. So post requirements, blurb about the challenge. What technologies did you use to build it? What did you learn while you were building the project? Include project links, tag Mintbean, use relevant hashtags and technologies, and make that demo video a little compelling. So if you're working on a team and you know that one of your team members maybe is a little bit more I guess, a better communicator, have that person demo it. Um, and just think about like what do you want to highlight in that demo video. Also, don't forget to talk about the technical complexity of the application. And if you're in a group, of course, tag your friends. And the third part is obviously posted on Discord. You want to make sure that we're leveraging that network effect and that people inside the community are able to go to your post and share and like and leave a comment. All right, so just a few more house things, guys, and then we're gonna get to the challenge walkthrough. So winner announcements happen every Monday at 12. Sometimes there is a delay. Like I said, that Monday is a stat holiday here in Canada. It is Family Day, so our team will be off. Speaking of Family Day, our code mentor might not be available for the Monday office hours. I am still in the process of checking with him. So what I'll do is I'll drop it in the current channel to see if he's still available and let you guys know if he's not. David Dales is our code mentor. If you guys have done a hackathon here in Mintbean, you already know he's awesome, and he's a great great developer all around, and I'm sure you'll enjoy talking to him. And you can find him in the Code Mentor Help channel. And you'll also find this channel called Find a Team. So if you're looking to connect with other developers, and create a team and you don't have one, it's a great place to find another person to tag with you on this hack. Here's the open office hours. Again, I'm not sure about Monday, so I'll have to confirm that back with you all. But this is our regular open office hours: Friday at 4, Monday at 5, and then again Wednesday at 5. And I just wanted to address, there is this drop off that happens, from kickoff to submission, and usually it is, sometimes tends to make you feel like, oh, maybe I'm not ready to take on hackathon projects, but the goal here is not to, I'm gonna have the most amazing project, but the goal here is to continue building. So even if you don't finish, and you still want to work on it outside of the hack, I encourage you guys to continue building. And ask the code mentor, hey, I still need support on this, I'm still working on this, do you mind if we can hash out some time to work on this project? Also, our technical help channel is a great tool as well for the community. So just keep trying is the primary goal of this community. And well, that's it for me. Welcome. And over to you, Kyle. Let's explain the challenge.
Okay, so let me share my screen, and I need to wait. There we go. I was looking at the rule book myself. I haven't looked at it in a minute. Okay, so for today's challenge, we are going to be doing a Simon Says Jump. It's a video game hack. If you've ever participated in one of our game hacks before, it is effectively just a quick platformer game. We're not looking for anyone who can create, the next Mario Brothers, but same time, make sure you want to have fun with it, but you also want to meet our MVP, which is down below. There are a few rules. So before I go over that, I want to kind of go over them. Web-based technologies are the only ones that are allowed. So like no Unity for game developments, no Unity, no. Sorry, my chat. I just received a chat. Got to keep that up. But no Unity, no game development software that's like specific for it. If there's a JavaScript library or say there's a Ruby library, I don't really know what every particular different language has. That's fine. What's not so fine, like I said, is Unity, using something like Unreal Engine. Those are all like video gaming platforms. Those aren't skills for web development, and that's not really why we are participating in this hack. So just keep that in mind as you go through. I've seen some amazing games built out of React. I've seen this jQuery game that I found super fun. So it can really be done with anything. To kind of go through the rules, a homepage, like Navi was saying, is kind of the introduction to your app. It's also like a house. I like to compare things to houses. If you can't tell, I also helped write the hackathon guide. So I compare a lot of things to houses, but if it looks bad, people don't really want to come in. You got the creepy house on the block, people are going to avoid your house. That's just how it is. So you're creating a game. You really want to make sure that you show it off when people get there. So when people get to your homepage, what you really want to see is a game title. We want to see instructions and controls and a way to start the game. Nothing's more irritating than getting to a game and not knowing how to play, because I just want to dive right in, get started. And if I don't know how, it makes it real hard. So just make sure that you kind of hit all those points. The game itself, again, we've given you some like just really nice, easy little user stories you can go over to make sure that you meet at least the bare minimum criteria. We kind of provided that MVP for you. Feel free to go above and beyond or make some small changes. We are fairly sometimes forgiving, sometimes not so much, depending on the feature that you decide to skip or not skip. But so when the user starts the game, their character should be able to move left, move right, jump. They should be held down by some sort of gravity. This is a platformer, and the whole point is that you're jumping from platform to platform. If gravity didn't exist, then the player wouldn't really be able to deal with that. There are some JS libraries that I know of that provide gravity engines built in that are perfectly acceptable to use. Otherwise, the gravity logic can also be super fun and super challenging and a great way to kind of learn how to use JavaScript in interesting ways, or use whatever language you're going to use. Because again, we're open to any web-based technologies or front-end, back-end development specifically. As a user, if you're hit by an enemy or a projectile, your character will die. Fairly simple. If an enemy hits you or a projectile hits you, you die. Yeah, every game needs a lose condition or it's not really fun. And then as a user, if you reach the finish, you win the game. You are open. This one is definitely open for wiggle room to other win conditions. If you had, say, a boss you wanted them to fight or something like that, and they had projectiles, the whole point of that one is just that there is a win condition. There has to be a way for the player to actually win. Otherwise, it's not really a super fun game. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Game over. So to truly win, you have to have the risk of losing. Again, the loser can lose the game either through lives, time, or some other lose condition. There's always, like, you can come up with anything you want. You can just make it to where there's random death spots. You just walk there and die, whatever. The environment can kill you. It doesn't really matter. It just has to be able to happen. As a user, when I lose, I'm taken to a leaderboard. This does not have to have any sort of persistent data, just some sort of way for a user to be able to like put on their name and stuff. If you don't actually be able to, if you're not able to actually persist that data, it will not be held against you. But there are plenty of things like local storage, and then preferably backends if you finish, but not until after you're done with all the MVP stuff. And then as a user, wow, that one got tongue-tied. As a user, you can start a new game. You want to be able to start over. If I want to play your game for hours, it would suck if I have to refresh the page every single time. Stretch goals, we have provided you with some things that we would consider goals to go beyond, things that we think that might be outside of the scope of a week, not necessarily outside the scope of your skills. So if you finish all of the MVP stuff, persistence is always one that takes quite a bit. Saving and loading a game, saving a leaderboard, those are always something that takes a little bit extra time. Power-ups, combats, providing some sort of stories. So like adding to your homepage, some like background about your characters. If you're a little bit more on the story or narrative telling side, if that's part of your personality. The ability to select different characters. Like for instance, if you're playing Mario, you could be Luigi, personally my favorite of the two brothers, just saying. And then game modes. Having an easier or harder or expert or master level of the game can really add challenge. So if your game is really easy on easy, and you can make it like stupid hard on like a god mode, it can tend to attract people to want to play your game. So we do recommend these. If it is not listed on the stretch goals, please feel free to add it. At no point do we believe that this is the end all be all of things you could do to improve. This is just something that we came up with so that you didn't have to spend a huge amount of time coming up with ideas from scratch. You got a week. We're trying to help you and provide you with as many, I guess, starts as possible. If there are any questions, feel free to either unmute or post them in the chat now, and I will answer them to the best of my to the best of my ability. Please avoid how-to questions. That is the fun of this challenge, is that you are going to learn, and unfortunately that is through doing. So if you want to ask me like how to create a platformer game, that is not something I can answer right now.
Guys, we're gonna have Q&A open for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna do breakout rooms and just try to. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, or feel free to open your mics and just ask Kyle a question.
Yes. So any framework or library available to web technologies like Phaser, like Pixie, are completely allowed. They're actually encouraged. That's what we use. I use Phaser the most for these types of challenges. I do highly recommend it. So that'll be perfect. The one, like I said, the ones we're hoping you avoid is like Unreal Engine and Unity, like true game development softwares. Absolutely. I actually found that the game development wasn't that far off from like regular development that I've done in the past. You can absolutely get started. It is very similar. You get to, if you pick Phaser or you pick Pixie, for instance, you get to dive into their documentation, which is for Phaser. Their new Phaser's documentation is pretty bad, but to be honest, you're gonna have to get used to that. Most documentation for most libraries is 50-50 chance of it being the worst. So I do recommend you try this. The fun is in participating. Just don't put, just a little bit from a coding school. You know what? I feel like if you know how to write a little bit of JavaScript, you can try. And David Dale, I've worked with him. He's an amazing guy. He will help you the most he can. And at the end of the day, if you leave here with just slightly more knowledge, then you'll be able to maybe do it next time. So I wouldn't put too much harsh, like where you're at now. The idea is at the end of this hack, you're gonna be a little bit further or a little bit closer to your goal, depending on how you want to word that. That particular saying, further down your path or closer to your goal. It doesn't really matter. But yes, any skill level can try this game. Don't focus on winning too much, guys. That if you focus more on winning, then you'll be really discouraged. Don't compare your work to other people's. That's our job, not yours. Compare yourself to where you were last week. So right now, for instance, you're saying that you're coming in with just a little bit of coding experience, that you're just starting. Just if you can write a little bit of Phaser, if you can get the start screen, if you can get it loaded in any way, take that as a win and just really internalize that. It's about the experience. It's not about winning. We've had people win our hacks that are really not necessarily, I'm not going to say inexperienced, we on the new side, and we've had people win our hacks on the experience side. It's not about winning. It's about doing. You learn by doing, and that's kind of what we're providing an opportunity for.
Well put, Kyle.
All right, it's kind of, I guess, to kind of wrap up the Q&A. I don't know how much time we have left. The Mintbean guidebook is available to you all. It's linked to you on the challenge page. It has a lot of great things: how to plan your project, how we're going to score your particular project, how to get help. There's a few things in here about how to ask questions that work really, really well. I really recommend you adopt that in your everyday life as a coding person, at least something like it. How to submit, the hackathon schedule itself again, and then how to build a landing page. These are all super nice and super helpful things. Definitely lean on the resources that we gave, and I promise you'll learn and be successful here. It's a great community as well. Everyone will help you if you ask. And if you want to, you can personally tag me in Discord, but you need to personally tag me, otherwise I won't get a notification and then I'm not on it. So where do we find the challenge page itself? Okay, the challenge page itself is located currently on our platform. You go to the meets and it should come up as the very first one, or if you go to our homepage, it is also the very first one, and then you click on it and that has you get to this meet page. I've already done it, but at the bottom of the page, there's this unlock Kanban button. I can't demonstrate that for you, but it'll unlock this very nice little Kanban that we created for you. It'll allow you to keep track of your progress, move things over into what you're working on, and organize your thoughts very well. Did that answer your question? And I can drop that as a link as well in the chat in case anyone else needs to just be able to get to it.
Cool. All right, I'm also going to drop a link to our Discord server for anyone who's not on the server already. But guys, this is a really great opportunity for us to get to know each other a little bit better. We've been running these breakout rooms fairly recently. I believe we started last week, and it's just an opportunity for us to get to know you and for you to get to know the community. So we're going to be in breakout rooms for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back together and answer any questions that you might have that maybe weren't addressed in this session. So I'm just going to create breakout rooms, and we shall be in them I think we've had a few people that have dropped. That's completely okay. The breakout rooms are really for us to get to know each other a little bit better. Hope you enjoyed the orientation and kickoff. Maybe it takes 60 seconds for everyone to return back to the main room. I think there was a timer, if I'm not mistaken. Does anyone else see that timer?
I think there was a timer.
Okay, maybe we'll give everyone.
It should be 60 seconds.
Okay, let's give everyone maybe another 30 seconds to come back in. Okay, seeing more people trickling in. Okay, cool. All right. Thought we lost you guys. Didn't realize there was a timer.
Yeah, you get 1 minute before getting yanked. You don't just get to yank people out of their rooms, Navi.
You're done. You're done. Cut. Oh my God. I actually did that to Monarchin. You know, we met in university, and we were on a group project together, and we were going over time, and our professor kept like doing this, like, you know, and it was like one of those projects where you lose points for going over. And I didn't know him that well, but like, we're married, by the way. And this is like a decade ago. And literally, and I'm like going in the background, like, Monarch, cut it off, like, cut it off. We're going over time, and he's ignoring me. And then finally, like after 3 minutes, and I know like we're losing like a point every single minute that we're going over. So finally, after 3 minutes, like I jump on to the stage, and I'm like, and that's it from you. And that's our presentation. So yeah, you can cut people off. It has happened. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this session. It was lovely meeting all of you, and can't wait to see everyone's project. Feel free to drop your questions in the current event channel, or whether it's technical support or any other questions you guys might have, please tag us. It just helps in seeing where those messages are coming. All right, enjoy your Fridays. Take care. Bye.